Hello and welcome back to another video in my Laravel personal movie database series. In the last video we did some cleanup so that you can actually see it on GitHub and that I don't have to worry about leaking my API keys and stuff like that. So here we go, next video, and we're gonna dive in and we're gonna get away from Hello World. I mean, Hello World is nice, but it's not really what we want. We want to fill this with some life here. So let's go to Bootstrap, and actually I forgot something. If you might recall, we changed our CDN, so you can see that we are here at cdnjs.cloudflare.com, but down here we are still on JS delivery. Up here we are on 5.1.3. Down here we are at 5.2.0 beta 1. This doesn't really fit. So what we are looking for is the Bootstrap bundle min.js for that old version, 5.1.3, and I actually have prepared the link already, so that's what the link here, so that we are on the proper library as well here, and so that everything just fits together. Okay, I think it's not a big deal, or it shouldn't be a deal, or it might be a big deal if this is not correct. Might work, it might not work, but we don't want to temper around and get some weird issues later on, so we just need to try to make sure to match the versions here. Okay. So now this is our basic template. We want to start from that and configure it. First of all, refreshing shouldn't change anything. Yeah. Alright, so now let's get some navbar in here. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna do the navbar so that it gets tagged correctly. We don't want to have this as a link. We want to have this as a heading. Let's get started with this. And let's quickly remove that test tag. I really hate that it's not auto formatting stuff, but yeah. So we're gonna try this out, how this looks. And this one is light. So as you can see, it's not really as advertised. I don't have it up there, Bootswatch, but it's not as advertised. So we're gonna try to change this, and actually what I'm gonna do, we're gonna work split screen from now on. No, that's not what I want. That's what I want. We're gonna work split screen because come on, I want you to have that. Okay, let's use the layout manager that is a bit more friendly. Okay, can I collapse that bar here? Sadly not. Okay, but we should be good with that as well. So let's first try to remove everything, which is of course gonna destroy everything. Okay, so that's not what we want. So we might actually try out to get the styles from Bootstrap. So let's try out the color scheme dark. And let's try out how this is looking. And it's not really looking as it should. Is that Bootswatch? Is Bootswatch actually using different style tags than Bootstrap? Is it really? No messing around? Because we are using darkly actually, but I am missing that color scheme. So let's maybe try this out. Okay, so I just used, this was the first one I tried out, this was the second one I tried out. We are looking for the third one, which is then that one, dark BG primary. Is that the navbar we are looking for? Yeah, that's the navbar I was trying to get. Which would mean that on default Bootstrap we're gonna have this blue, but it's okay. Can we actually change this quickly? So what had we had? I have no idea how they are all called, but this is basically the theme that we are trying to go for, at least initially. We can also then we're also gonna get to cards later on and do stuff like that, but for now, okay, so I'm just going to keep this up here for reference. So this gives us a nice title bar. Now we can get away. Oh, do we want to? I'm not quite sure if I really want to work split screen, because this is probably a mobile navbar. Okay, no, if I zoom out, it's actually okay. It's just because I've zoomed in here. So it might be that I later on need to zoom out so that I can see if everything styles correctly, but we can always do this with scrolling around, and actually I think I have this mobile first emulator installed that is gonna emulate different devices where you can basically test if your web page is working correctly. You can also like use this to correctly. I have like multiple of these stuff installed so that we can have a nice development experience. Okay, so let's just call this MovieDB here, and this is of course something that we wanna have localized, that title here. So MovieDB, this is gonna be the app name title, and let's go into my this is something that is not nice if you work split screen because this doesn't really fit. How does this work? If I click this and go back? No, it's not auto collapsing, so I need to click here. That's not nice, but I think we can live with that. So okay, lang en, so app dot name dot title, it's gonna be MovieDB. So refreshing that shouldn't change anything, except that it basically has fetched that from that localization tag. Okay. So the next thing is that we want to populate this navbar with a few items, and we want to actually have some menu items. How do they work? I have, of course, because this is also zoomed in. If I zoom out, do I get the normal nav back? Yeah, I get the normal navbar back. This is now maybe a bit hard for you to read. I can see when it's gonna collapse that, probably somewhere next one or next one. Yeah, there it is. So I can go like that to be fine here. So okay, so we want to have this toggle button actually to have our navbar toggle features as well. Do we need, I'm not quite sure if we need JavaScript for that. It's probably auto-loading. I'm just gonna copy that full div here, and then we're gonna stripe this down to what we need actually. Okay, so there are all the items. Is it gonna decollapse that at some point? No. So now we have this always in this hamburger. Okay, so it was actually quite obvious. I just forgot an HTML tag. It's the navbar expand LG, and actually I want to have it MD. Actually want to expand it on medium devices as well. I just want to have it on mobile. It's looking a bit odd actually. Okay, because on MD it looks odd. On LG it looks good, MD looks odd, and mobile looks okay. Maybe we're just gonna keep this as LG. I'm not quite sure. We could try to simulate an iPad quickly. So iPhone should be, yeah, like that. And what happens if I go for an iPad Air landscape? Okay, so an iPad is gonna get this uncollapsed, so this is okay. This is what I want. What is on portrait mode? On portrait mode we are collapsed. I think I can live with that. We can tweak this later on, of course. MacBook should be also, yeah, it's a MacBook, yeah. So let's go back to my iPhone 12 Pro for my best mobile experience tests, and disable mobile first so that we can think a bit around. When do we collapse? There. So I'm gonna keep it as that so that I have a fully uncollapsed navbar. Okay. Good. So now let's try to figure out how we do this. Let's first format this to make this properly. Okay, so this is the drop down, which is of course gonna have an underordered list. I'm personally not a fan of drop downs and too high menu hierarchies. I rather have sub pages that you can reach with normal press of a button, instead of having like this hierarchy drop down. So we're gonna get rid of this. I also don't like that one, so we don't need this. So we just have these normal nav, but now we have this form flex. So this is gonna be our search, or actually this is gonna be the right. Let's try this out. So action is gonna be this. Actually, it's gonna be. But yeah, let's keep this open for now. I don't know if this tag actually works. Method is of course post. This should actually make the form unusable. Okay, it's still posting even through I go to exclamation mark, but yeah, at least like the form is doing what it should. So what I want to have is basically have this as a search form at some point where you can search content. So let's call this search bar. The search is going to be a special feature in our application that we're going to dive deeply into it. So basically what search is going to do, it's going to invoke a search on the movie database. I'm not quite sure if we even can search. Can we find by, can we actually search on that? Search. What do we have? So we have, let's zoom out a bit. Search companies, search collection, search keywords, search movies, multi-search. This is what I think is exactly what we want to do. Okay. So multi-search, we're basically gonna invoke a multi-search on the movie database. And then we're gonna filter the results that we get back. We're gonna filter hopefully all that we can do. Not quite sure if we can really do all, but what I basically want to do is actually maybe we're not even gonna do a multi-search or just a movie search, but you get the point where we're gonna search for something, and then we're gonna parse the result array, and we're gonna check the ID, and if the ID is also existing in our database, we're gonna show the content, and in case we basically didn't find something that was included on our API, we are gonna continue and search on the movie database. So basically I want to order this by what we have in our database. We're gonna see how this turns out, but this is something that we're gonna do. So the primary search engine will be the movie database, which will then be compared to our internal repository of movies, and we're gonna try to basically match everything that we get. If we don't find any match, we say no results, but on the movie database we found the following content, and then you can see, okay, show me more, and then they're gonna go for full just the movie database API search, and we're gonna have some nice searching features on here by exploiting the search of the movie database. So we're not gonna write our own search like Elasticsearch or something else. Sorry. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at this again. Was it just a text? Can we not have in the placeholder an icon? Do we have font awesome? I actually want to get, okay, let's quickly pull in some font awesome, because font awesome is awesome. We want to see free icons. Actually, I mean, there's a paid version, and I actually own the paid version, and I could use this. But since it's an open source project, we basically just want to have the free ones, which are 2000, which should be fine. Search, let's search for search. Magnifying glass, this is what we want. Let's but quickly say and pull in some font awesome. Font awesome free is gonna be what we want. So let's copy another tag here, and magically we're gonna have another style sheet in here that is gonna resolve to font awesome. And I now can try if I can put this in the placeholder as well. I have no idea if this works. Okay, it's probably not working because we have brackets inside of brackets. Let's try font awesome. Just input placeholder font awesome icon. Using font icon as an okay. Font awesome min placeholder. Okay, we could. Can we do this? This would be like ideal. if this works. Okay, not like that, obviously, but something like this. Awesome. It's actually already the right icon because, yeah, it's probably like people are used to putting this into search. Okay, so what they're doing here, they are referencing to the value, to the icon value f002, which in this case is, if we compare this, f002 is the magnifying glass. Right. And this is basically what we're going to do here to get this in here. But now the one thing that we're going to do is we're going to replace the search text. And we're going to have this. How did I manage to get that one in there? I honestly don't know. So this is going to be the... Okay, I'm on caps. That explains everything. This is going to be the nav. Okay, we need... Can we do? Yeah, I think we can do both tags. Yeah, it's PHP. Never mind. So we want to do the nav search place holder is the thing that's going to go in here, and this is going to be button. So placeholder and button are the two values that we need. So let's add them in here as well. Placeholder and button, like that. And let's put this here to search and search. Why I am doing this like that? Well, because in German this is going to be different. In German this is going to be, gonna show this to you how I would do this in German. Let's actually modify this so that it doesn't close that. Let's quickly add all the other stuff in here as well and quickly translate this to German. Personal movie databases is like all by default. Actually, we could like not even include this because this doesn't need to be translated. Also the Hallo Welt, I'm gonna remove this for now, but I am gonna change this to Suchbegriff. Suchbegriff. Because is that actually correct? I have like a disability for German. I cannot spell in German. I am not able to. And here suchen. Or we can just say los for starting the search. And if I refresh this, nothing will change. But let me quickly change something. Let's go back to our middleware app, HTTP middleware auto set language, and instead of doing this like that, we're gonna add something in here, and we're gonna do this as app get local. And now you're gonna find some magic happening when we now go to our config. And we're gonna go to our app.php. Scroll down to the localization, and if I now gonna comment out this, we should be magically on German. Okay, now we are not on German because can we Laravel check if there's a config value? Laravel check if config exists. So we want to do something like that. This is now. I try to basically get it. Now we just got the default one. But what I want to do is I want to check if a config value is in existence. And we're gonna do this very wild because I already see that this is not. Okay, it is straightforward. I'm an idiot. You should read to the end. Okay, so if the debug mode is enabled and the app config has this debug local, then we're gonna do this like that, and else we're gonna do the automatic stuff, and this with the current config should make this German again. And now we have app name. Okay, so we are not falling back to our English. That is not good. As you can see, app name title, this has not been replaced now because we didn't specify this in German, but it looks like our fallback local is not working. Okay. So I might need to... And the current one is not available. Okay. So we really need to have everything in there. That is a bit sad. Something that... Yeah, okay, so we need to put this one in here as well in German. That's good to know. But now we can basically see MovieDB, PMDB, Suchbegriff los. We have like the German text, and if I go back to my configuration and I bring back my debug local to override this for debugging, we are back on English. So this is just to show you a bit of, again, a bit more usable example of localization that's going on here. Okay, so we don't need that one, we don't need that one. These ones, I want to keep them, and not the German one, we're going to keep I'm going to try to keep the translation to German up to date, but for now we just do this like that. Okay, so this gives us some nice form here for the search bar, but it's currently not like really working. Okay, so now we need to do navigation items, and this is a bit more involved. Because I want to do this, I want to auto-generate this. Because as you can see, we have like this home and link, and the home one is active because we are currently there. And I want to do basically is I want to properly set this always to the active one. So we're gonna have something like public home, and if we are on home, which is currently not found, I want a home to be highlighted. I want to always have this highlighted, which matches the first request string. I have done this in the past, and it is possible, but it's not straightforward. We first, before we can do this, need something to simulate this actually. So let's go to routes, web.php, and let's add a few routes. So first of all, base shall now be at home. We don't need that one now. Oh, actually, I do want to have this because I've changed something and I never verified that it's still working, which is now of course not working. Okay, so this still works, this is important. So let's put this to home. And now we can delete this with the safe assumptions that everything works, which is going to give us a not found. Let's add a home and a page, because I just want to have two things for checking. Then let's have the default one, and let's return redirect to home. And this should redirect us to home. And now we should be on home, and now we have home and link. So now we need to quickly adapt them. Link active home. So this is going to be /home for now. We need to do this properly in the future, and this is going to be page. So home and page, we're going to have this like that. Let's refresh this, and this should now allow us to switch between home and page in the URL, but as you can see, it's currently not really accepting that. It's always highlighting home, which is correct because it's always using active. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to factor out how these links are generated. So we want to have a template for each of these link objects that we can then instantiate for each nav item. And this is somehow possible, but I forgot how it's called in Laravel. Amazing. Clap, clap, clap. So let's try to find what we want to do. Okay, can I find this with that? Okay, let's go to Blade templates, because I think that we can find what's going on here. Components, that's exactly what we want to make. So I want to make a Blade component. PHP artisan make component is going to make a Blade component within subdirectories. Okay, form input. So what I want to do is I want to make a component for nav item. Okay, so nav item, now we have under the views directory, a component directory with a subdirectory nav with an item.blade.php. And here is now where the code comes in for that little template. Yeah, okay, so how can we do this? We basically just copy that over. So just copy home over or page over. Okay, so let's save this, let's keep them empty, and let's paste them over there. Let's make them like that so that we can see it. Nav items. Okay, so nav link active. This active needs to be later on dynamically deduced. Current page home. Do we have this there as well? I have no idea. Was that the one? Yeah, but we will want to have fancy stuff, at least for now. So I'm gonna remove that one. We're just gonna have a DHWRF and that one. Okay. So now let's try to find out how we can use these blade templates. So these blade templates, okay. X package alert. Once your component has been registered. So, yeah. Okay, these components we also get, as you can see something, we also get a item.php file in the components nav item. So they are actually working in combination with PHP stuff. Where did it register that? Or is it auto-register? I think it's auto-registering them as far as I know. Because... where is that? Is it the... okay, but this is manually registering packaged components. Okay, that's not what we really care. So how can we use it? We can use it with the xforms.import. But this is with a dot. How can I use the one? Okay, we're gonna try this out anyway. So we're just gonna try out xforms.import, but with our example. So let's go to our base one, and now let's instantiate these by having two of them. But it's now not xforms input, it's gonna be nav item. Let's see if this works and what it does. It should give us two homes actually. Yeah, okay, that is correct. It's giving us two homes. Now we want to give it some parameters. How can we give it some parameters? Rendering components. Yeah, just like that. Okay, xalert user. We can also use dashes. Okay, no, we use dots. Okay, here we need dots. Okay, passing data. So now this is gonna be interesting. We want to pass some data to it. Let's do this by starting at our base blade and let's give it some data. So I want to give it a name, and I want to give it a name, and I want to give it an href. So a link and a name. In this case, it's gonna be home, page, and page, something like that. Okay. Now let's try out what happens if we refresh it. It should do nothing because we have not really implemented it, but it shouldn't break anything. Okay, that's good. Now we need to catch this. Okay, so it tries to... okay, so it's passing these in at a construct. So we have a name and an href. So like that. So let's go back to item and let's add them in here. So we have the name and we have the href. We need them, of course, here. They need to be public. Or can I also have them private? Because they are used with constructs, so I want to have them private. Okay, private. Let's see if this breaks it, but we're just gonna keep this private for now. Okay, so this name is gonna be equal to name, and this href is gonna be equal to href. Okay, we have the view. Is it automatically passing this over? So we can get this by default like this with just some blade. So let's try this out with... it could be that this needs to be public to work. I'm not quite sure of that, but this could be that this, because how we access it, that this needs to be public then. Okay, yeah. Unreserved primitive, okay. This is probably because this is private and needs to be public, so that Laravel can actually get this, right? No. Okay, it could be some cache issues. PHP artisan optimizer clear to clear the cache, and refreshing brings it back to life. Okay, so this was a really odd issue, and so the cache was an issue here. Okay, so now we have it back, but now we have the issue that both of them are active. So can we get the request? I want to check if we can get the request during construct of this object. Let's try out if this works. Yeah, that works like a charm. This actually looks really odd. Because it's like inside of something where it shouldn't be. Okay, so let's see if we can find something in the request that's interesting for us. So we are looking for the path info, is that right? Do we have this? Okay, so get path info is the function that we are looking for. Get path info. Let's try what this is. So this is a string. So /home. Okay, so this is the string that we get, so let's store this one. So first we're gonna save data, and now what I want to do is I want to check if this is the active item. So how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get the full path, and this is gonna be equal to that, and then I'm gonna say path parts is gonna be explode on the delimiter / for the $full path. Let's die and dump the path parts for now to just see what we get, and we get to array, so we can maybe try to stripe can we stripe empty array elements? Modify the subpath, so we could try to like if full path how was it, length, or was it string length? So if string length bigger than 0 and full path at 0 equals that, I think it's I don't, it doesn't care, then I can basically say that full path like substring from the string is the full path, and I'm gonna start at 1, and this is gonna then give me the proper one probably. Yeah, okay, so now we have the part, so we're gonna split request part infos, and then we're gonna check if is active 1. We're gonna do this by checking if to lower, how was it, str to lower was the function. This is equal to str to lower whatever else. We're gonna do something. Actually, we can't even do this like that. We can do this like, we can have a private is active, which is gonna be equal to is active. That's gonna be equal to that if it's two are equals, and these are the path parts at 0, and our, let's close this, our $href like that. And if I would refresh this, okay, now we of course need to pass them over. So actually I did not even try it if I can put them as private, because I thought that this is an issue. Okay, so undefined variable. Okay, they need to be public so that the view can access them. Okay, good to know. Okay, so I'm looking for like a directive that's easy. Okay, we can actually do this as a class string. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna assign this class string to, I want to do this like that, so this is now a bit hacky, but yeah, so we can have the class string, and the class string is gonna be at navlink active, like that, but without the active. And in case this is true, we're gonna say class string add the active parameter to the end. Okay, So something like that. So a class string, so we can now put this one in here as well. And we can put the class string in here, and this should make the home visible and the page not. Okay, class string is undefined. Why are you undefined? Class underscore public class underscore string. Can it not handle that? CLS string, can it not? Where did it actually have this? Construct. Oh yeah, okay. I am an idiot. This is not C++, this is Laravel. We should do this like that. Okay, now you can see home is active. If I now click to page, page is active. So this is now deduced dynamically on the first content of the URL. This might seem a bit hacky, but it works. At least for my case, it works. And we can easily use this as a component inside of here. We can define a separate href, and we can define a separate name, which is important for localization again, because I can say nav, I can basically say nav entry home is going to be equal to home, and in German I can say, of course I have German closed again, I can say that this is equal to Startseite, and if I refresh this, okay, these are my routes. I want to have the config again. I shouldn't have closed this one, lol. Okay, so if I refresh this, we are on English, but if I would overwrite, or if I would remove my debug locals again, we are on German, but we are still at home? Oh yeah, because of course we need to use localization. That's important. You cannot just depend on it. Now this is going to be interesting. Do we need to use tags here? Probably for consistency, which is our nav entry dot home. Okay, now you can see we have Startseite. If I click on Startseite, even though the URL is home, it's still localized and properly marked, so it's independent of the href. Okay, so Startseite also works. Go back to debugging purposes for you. Home. Okay, back at your easy way to do and learn it. Okay, so I think this is enough for this video. Actually, again, sorry, but we haven't gone far. Just a plain dumb ass menu bar, but yes, it's all taking its time. So yeah, thank you for watching. We're gonna see us in the next video, where we're gonna continue on with that. So we're gonna continue on with Laravel, and we're gonna have happy clouds, and everything is nice, and more fancy stuff like this, which I really love. I really love Laravel. I really love Blade templates. It's like the web framework that you should use, definitely. We might want to actually factor this out to a proper file as well, and I love it. Of course, since we are now doing this with source control, let's add this. This is, I think, video 4. Yeah, let's add video 4, and let's commit this. Okay, can I get the commit back actually? Undo last commit. I want to add some description here as well. So this is basically the Navbar. Okay, so let's commit this and sync the changes. So at least, like, if somebody looks at this repository, it's not just video, so you can at least see what was going on there. Okay. All right. So nice blitzscreeny stuff. And that's exactly what we want to have. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe and activate the bell. And have a nice day, of course. Bye.